After months of waiting, the Good, Bad, and Ugly series is finally back, as NASCAR has officially entered the summer swing, and this month will test true teams this season. There are many questions and some potential problems down the road. Will Chevrolet contend? Will Ryan Blaney stop having bad luck, and can he pull through and win? Will Kyle Larson finally win as well? He's been really close. Can he finally do something? And can we finally get a new winner for the first time since Talladega? We will see how June responds to these questions. So anyways, the 14th race of this long season heads to the Pocono Mountains for the Pocono 400. So first off, why are we still going to this track twice a year? I mean, the Pocono Mountains are nice and all, but when you can't even find a title sponsor for one of your races, that's very alarming. It's too bad NASCAR, they had to release the 2019 schedule in early April, and they have all these tracks locked down until 2020 because Pocono, man, they did not impress very many people with this trip, and once again, it had lagging attendance and boring racing. But with that said, Ryan Blaney leads the field and he pulls away from the pack. With that said, however, the cream once again rises to the top of the heap and he immediately gets hounded down by Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr., the big three, and he fades to about 4th, 5th place. Stage winner, MTJ. Martin Truex Jr. flexed his muscles during the stage by passing the 2018 powerhouse Kevin Harvick and fellow Toyota Kyle Busch. And once again, this race seems like another big three battle on our hands. So stage 2 continues, and what do you know? Kevin Harvick dominates and wins the stage. Barely any competition or contest for the Busch team, and once again, they prove they are the team to beat. Also, notice how Clint Bowyer is running a Busch light paint scheme in addition to Kevin Harvick running his normal Busch car. An absolutely genius idea by St. Louis' own Anheuser-Busch. You know, giving a personality like Clint Bowyer, you know how much of a character he is. You know, now he has alcohol sponsorship. Sadly, I think Michigan would have been a better place. But I mean, at least he's finally getting some exposure from the sponsors that he needs.
And we don't know what might have been last week. This 4 car was coming. He may have been able to get up there and give Kyle Busch some.
So as we head to the final stage, it's kind of rinse and repeat, just like the rest of the 2018 season. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, basically they trade punches early in the final knockout round, and they enforce a drubbing on the remainder of the field. As obviously the cream once again has risen to the top for about the 5th straight race, and it's the same song, different verse once again.
Well, the big three are running
1, 2, 3. Through corners, 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
And that's why we took them out of our ones to watch. What fun would that have been?
Wow, look, Daniel Suarez has some more bad luck in this series. The bench sheet metal is asking for nothing but trouble, and it will ultimately cost him down the road. This season for Daniel Suarez, my gosh, it's absolutely sucked. I mean, I believe this team could contend for a playoff spot, but they're constantly shooting themselves in the foot with pit issues, with Daniel Suarez, and I'm speeding on pit road, with just a lack of speed. Oh yeah, and then there's sometimes, obviously, Daniel Suarez gets screwed over by somebody else making a mistake. It's just every single week. I'm sick and tired of it. Every single week, Daniel Suarez, it's some type of issue. Something that always prevents him from being a contender. And what do you know? He's, 20th in points? Not even close to a playoff berth. It's fairly frustrating.
I felt like there should have been more that stayed out with that many.
Whoa, Denny Hamlin!
And there we go. Denny derails once again. I mean, come on. By no means should a seasoned veteran like Hamlin get loose like that and wipe out Alex Bowman and a couple other cars. It just seems like Denny Hamlin this season. He's making so many mistakes, so many errors. You go back to Texas in April, obviously getting loose under Eric Almirola and crashing half the field. And obviously you have instances like Pocono. Honestly, this is just the honest truth. I think Denny Hamlin's time at Joe Gibbs should be up. Denny Hamlin is easily having one of his worst seasons at Joe Gibbs Racing. Probably second to 2013 whenever he got wrecked out. He has 0 wins so far in 2018. He's making costly errors. And in addition to that, you have Christopher Bell tearing up the Xfinity Series. He's essentially the title favorite. If I were Coach Joe, I would give him this year and next year. And then if not, I would promote Christopher Bell to the 11 car. Hamlin's had his time at Joe Gibbs Racing, and he hasn't won a championship yet. He has not delivered. It would just be easier if Denny Hamlin went to a team, maybe Levine Family Racing if they switched to Toyota, or maybe a team similar to Furniture Row's case, where he can build that operation and could end up maybe like Mark Martin or something like that. Maybe he can end up like Mark Martin or Martin Truex Jr. and gradually improve the team, have a career resurgence, and then ultimately win a championship. I mean, he's just not gaining anything at Joe Gibbs Racing, and I think it's time for Christopher Bell.
Eric Jones got two.
Meanwhile, it looks like it's going to be wreckers for Eric Jones this weekend. In addition, it's just the negativity for Joe Gibbs Racing just keeps churning out. Not his fault by any means, because my gosh, Logano still hates the 20 car. Maybe next weekend will finally be that Jones boys' golden opportunity. With the way this season has gone, I'd welcome an Eric Jones win with open arms, believe me. For the second time in 2018, race winner, MTJ. Wow, I can't believe it. Finally a winner besides Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. Once again, Cole Pearn executes the strategy perfectly and puts the 78 back in victory lane after a 2-month drought. I mean, it could have been a new winner for once. But if any of the powerhouse drivers were to win today, it would be MTJ, seeing that he only has 1 win this season. So the Pocono race, like I said, completely average. The strategy added some new elements into this one, but the racing could have been so much better. This race harkens me back to the 2010s, when battles for the lead were entertaining in the closing laps. Meanwhile, you look at this race, Martin Truex Jr., you knew once he got in that clean air, once he took the lead, Kyle Larson was not going to catch him and it was just going to be a ride to the end. This is one of the many issues with NASCAR, as once again we get a generic finish. The simple solution I have is bringing back the 2014 package. But those cars were just too fast according to Brian France in the front office. So that won't be happening anytime soon. No, instead we have to have restrictor plates. We're probably going to have those at Pocono and Michigan and maybe even Bristol someday.
Harvick to make the pass for third.
We head to the Motor City during a rainy day in mid-June. Good to see all 30,000 fans in attendance for this race. Honestly, Michigan deserves only one NASCAR date on the Cup Series schedule. The automobile industry is declining heavily in Detroit, as well as the interest in NASCAR up there. Just remember this. Michigan used to not only sell out the front stretch, but also seats in turn 1, and they even had seats in turn 4. That's how much they've fallen from their former glory. It's time to give the June date to either Eldora or Iowa.
The track they're down in turn 1. Remember, they only took 2.
Whoa,
Four wide.
So the first yellow of the race occurs with Bubba and David Reagan getting together in turn 1. Yeah, the handshake away is once again struggling under a new manufacturer and driver, and we can only hope Bubba Wallace goes to a real team in the future.
And everybody else gets by. That'll put us under caution. at lap 36.
No damage to the 43 of Bubba Wallace. I'm wondering, as they were battling for 20.
In a one-lap dash to end the stage, Ryan Blaney prevails. It's either been a feast or famine in terms of Blaney running up front this season. 1 week they run top 5 all race long and they have a shot to upset the big 3, and then the next week he runs into either bad luck or it's just straight mediocre. If Blaney wants to not only win a race this season but advance to Homestead, this issue needs to get fixed sooner than later. Don't look now, but it's old Hendrick Motorsports driver Casey Kane out front. At this point in 2018, Casey Kane has seen the lead more times than Jimmy Johnson and Chase Elliott. This is a troubling stat, not only for HMS, but for Chevrolet.
12 of Blaney and the 4 of Harvick.
Behold, spinner, turn 4 and around goes.
Do I even have to go over this? My God, do I have to? Daniel Suarez, my gosh. Once again, this is the week I thought he could turn it around, but nope, 30th place instead. Wonderful.
I think the 17 of Stenhouse maybe was right on his bumper, got him loose.
Yeah, well, he was in a bad spot. 19 was. He had to.
Hey, but how about William Byron running in the 7th spot? He's been the best Hendrick car all day, even better than teammate Chase Elliott, and he's finished second here 3 times and has never finished outside the top 10. Nothing but positivity from the cursed Liberty University car. Also, Kyle Larson finds himself getting closer to the front. This could be a big day for Chevrolet.
Well, he sailed it in. I mean, he really drove down the corner hard. The car put
Window and that pressure inside. Oh,
Kyle Larson goes around,
And it's gone.
into the grass. We're under caution.
Kyle Larson once again, same story. What a shame. He has definitely became the Chase Elliott of 2018. I can see this definitely. No matter what he does, he will either choke up a great opportunity to win, or he will have some horribly bad luck or just something go wrong. It's every single week. And this story is getting repetitive.
I think it just becomes obvious to me.
Get hard for Menard. He's up to second behind Kevin Harvick in the second stage. Can this be the day he breaks out and grabs his second career win? He's certainly improved from the lackluster 27 car to the 21 team for the Wood brothers, and who knows, maybe he can pull off the almighty upset today.
Got some damage to his car. He continues, but one lap.
So stage 2 continues, and what do you know? Kevin Harvick dominates and wins the stage. Barely any competition or contest for the freaky fast Jimmy John's team. And once again, they prove they are the team to beat.
1, 2, 3 sweep for Stuart Haas. Here we go for 8th, 9th place.
if he can do that again, and it's going to be close if he can clear his teammate Boyer. No, he doesn't do it.
I think he wanted to slide up in front of Boyer, but I think Kevin Harvick knows a lot like I do. That 14 car wants to win this race today.
Okay, wow, guys. Instead, Clint Boyer, he is able to hold him off as the weather looms closer. To make matters better, Recky Spinhouse Jr. causes the caution and the rain hits. Now, it's all up to NASCAR whether to call the race or not.
And more than likely, this will be the end of it.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
Well, you have a couple ways to look at it. One is that it took a long time to get this race started, get the track dry, and they've called it. Clint Boyer and Mother Nature win Michigan.
So there you have it. Clint Boyer wins at Michigan, and it's certainly a breath of fresh air, even though he already has a win this year. With the way NASCAR has been, with only 7 relevant teams, maybe bandwagoning off of Boyer for the short term isn't too bad of an option. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports, what? Chase Elliott was 9th. Oh, wow. What? I mean, Hendrick Motorsports. Oh, what? Chase Elliott was 9th at his best track. Yeah, what an accomplishment. So to sum it all up, the Michigan race was mediocre. The race had its moments with the impending weather, and it had some battles for the lead. However, it's just still lacking the proper side-by-side racing and the thrilling action from the 2000s that would put the race on another level. At least it's a step forward from recent Michigan snooze fest, specifically the 2015 Pure Michigan 400. Don't get me started on that garbage. That was such an awful race.
I think people will be watching those two times. Well, let's just go boogity, boogity.
We welcome the NASCAR Cup Series to wine country for the first road course race of the season. So finally, the series will take a few right turns and hopefully produce a decent race and maybe, just maybe, our 7th winner in 2018. Some interesting strategy ends up being the game changer during stage 1. Instead of getting some much needed playoff points and the stage win, MTJ and Happy Harvick pit for tires and fuel, which will give them the track position for stage 2. This means AJ Allmendinger picks up his first career stage win, and it gives JTG Doherty Racing a possible momentum booster for the team. Wouldn't be a bad thing if AJ can pull off the win, but it's been a while since we've seen an underdog perform well. So stage 2 sees MTJ take the lead, and then this happens.
Oh, no.
Okay, AJ, again, another mechanical issue during your only shot at the win besides Watkins Glen. Honestly, so far, AJ Allmendinger's long-term deal has been one of the biggest disappointments of the decade. It was signed all the way back in 2014. This deal was supposed to promote long-term stability for the organization, and AJ Allmendinger was supposed to be a playoff contender by the end of the decade. You look at him, yet you look at AJ Allmendinger, and he is still Yet you look at AJ Allmendinger this season, and he is still statistically finishing in the subpar 20s. AJ is easily out of the 47 car when his contract expires in 2020, unless he can go back to 2016 when he started making the round of 12 in qualifying. But I do not see that at all. He is definitely on the hot seat, and he needs something drastic to happen in order to keep his ride in the long term.
So we're going to finish off stage 2 with the green and white checker.
Look at this. Denny derails wins stage 2. Could this finally be the day where he goes back to the 2010s and he can start reliving his dominance? Kyle Busch has completely taken Joe Gibbs by storm, and Hamlin certainly needs an upswing of momentum. This could finally be the game changer for that 11 team, and we'll have to see where it fans out. And he immediately falls back to mid-pack once stage 3 begins. Okay, yeah, Denny Hamlin still producing sub-10th place results for a team that's won 4 races at this point of the season. Nice job.
Turn 10, nice, which it looks like he's going to do. He'll make this pass right away.
Half here with the run. Half. Looking, he's there by himself.
Smart move on Truex's part to get that done before they got to the traffic.
Yeah, I think so too, Mike. I didn't think that the lap traffic is going to be that big a factor because it's...
Race winner, MTJ. Martin Truex Jr. takes the 2018 Toyota Saymar 350. Oh, wow, what a snooze fest. Basically, the race ended 20 laps ago when Truex Jr. took the lead off of pit road. Cole Pearn played an excellent strategy call and pitted Martin Truex Jr. 1 lap before Kevin Harvick, and it ultimately gave Truex fresher tires and ultimately excelled for the win. And my gosh, besides that, this race, oh my, so boring. This is one of the most boring and tiring races I have ever watched. Basically seeing the race try to drag on an extra half hour when you knew the race, you knew whenever Martin Truex Jr. took the lead, you knew the race was over. And you were just waiting for it to end. And it finally did, and it was absolutely garbage. This is the issue in NASCAR. This is absolutely the issue. Not only the big 3 once again, but also you have races that just drag on. This race should probably be a 200-kilometer race instead of 350. So with the end of the Sonoma race, that wraps up the 2018 NASCAR on Fox portion of the season. To sum it up, I honestly thought the coverage was decent. It was not as good as the late 2000s, definitely far off from then. But you can place part of the blame on the absolutely boring races so far in 2018. Oh yeah, Charlotte, Las Vegas, ISM, Pocono, Dover. Basically all those races you saw the booth had to throw out a cheesy one-liner or something to try to fill the whole time slot. And while obviously they also had some elements like the grid walk and the pre-race, they were pretty much lacking. I was one of the rare people that liked the brand new ticker. Fox felt a little modern and cutting edge than previous broadcasts, and I think this season was a step forward in terms of their graphics and their leaderboard, the NASCAR and NBC. Add in, of course, Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon were fabulous in the booth, with DW still fairly watchable. With that said, however, the past is in the past. Let's welcome back Rick Allen and NASCAR on NBC.
I think we have the best team in all of sports.
I think we have the best team in all of sports. I think we have the best team.
To hang on the outside.
Yeah, Ross Chastain just having an outstanding day, but Matt Tiff recovering from his.
And there's another car involved. We lost somebody.
I don't know if it's Justin Allgaier. No, Ross Chastain.
Chastain is. Allgaier somehow has fallen back and way down. It's back to 29th, so something happened to Justin Allgaier. It may have included James Davison, but Davison is now out of the hunt for the lead momentarily.
Crafted out in front here with 1 to go. 2 to go. White flag hasn't gone yet.
Chase Energy fakes low.
Take a look at this pass. Well, he bumped him.
The tricky triangle, they're about to come through.
Soon it will be transferred into a football facility for an NCAA college basketball matchup.
Aggressive goes around. Oh, around goes the 48 of Brennan Poole. Oh, around goes the 24 of Chase Elliott. Oh, around goes the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And around goes the 77. Around goes the 2. Oh, around goes the 2. And around goes the 6. Around goes the 17. Around goes the 48. Around goes the 19. Around goes the 24. And around goes the 23. Around goes the 83. And around goes the 33. Around goes the 33. Around goes the 78. Oh, around goes the 5. Around goes Kurt Busch. Oh, around goes the 48. And around goes the 77. And around goes the 22. And around goes the 62.
And I enjoyed being able to bring the sport to the fans.
The second half of the year has been better than the first part for sure, but it's just, it builds and it builds and it builds.
I think we have the best team in all of sports. Yeah, kill me.